Uh, so I want to show you what's outside the window, and it's snowing. I don't know how you say it. Hard snowing. I don't know. I don't know the words. So I need to go to channeling where I teach others to channel. But just yesterday I was channeling the Enrico and a couple of my friends who speak English. Also a couple of my friends who speak English. And I wasn't channeling for like maybe a month. And so it maybe took me like 30 minutes to prepare. But the idea is that after I really after the video recording, I watched over again on my camera, which was filming parallelly, and I watched the recordings, and I really loved and liked what the Enrico was sharing, what information he was sharing. It was really, I think, a nice information. And in some moments my tears started to fall down, and it was really funny. Not funny, it was, but I noticed when in the channeling a couple of things that sometimes well, not the idea, but the being of Enrico, he loves to be precise. For example, somebody is asking a question and he loves to completely understand what he is asking. And I need to gain this car. Loves the idea what he wants to make precisely correct. What is he actually asking? So he always gives back a question, and to make it precise, what is he? I don't see anything. What is he asking? And another thing is that sometimes a human asks a question. Some people ask a question, and to answer this question, he needs to like explain three different ideas, and it's really at that moment my mind taps in and says, "Oh, he's asking this," but then again, the being of Enrico is like, "Wait, but we cannot understand to this question. Basically, this question doesn't have an answer. This question is without an answer. It's impossible to answer. But this question arises from the lack of three other things that we need to like explain." And then there was at the previous channeling there was this pause when the man was asking, for example, and this is ifs. He wants his excitement is to go outside, but he has a child at home and he cannot go outside, and it's also his excitement and the child's excitement to like go to sleep, but his excitement is to go out. So what can we do then? And then Enrico was, well, you will never have this question once you truly understand, once you understand the idea of following yourself, following your true self, and so on. And there was this, okay, basically there is no answer to this question. This is what I feel. So basically nothing is coming. And then I ask, how can we answer this question? How the mind jumps in, and how can you answer this question? And that to answer this question, it's really difficult. You need to share three other stories, but the man is not asking about the three other stories, so we cannot even say anything. It's according to the free will law and everything. We cannot even say anything. But it's not like, okay, then Enrico says, okay, according to the free will law, we will not say anything. It's like you feel this, that you don't want to interrupt his own understanding by telling something he didn't ask. So you just want to highly respect him. And then there was, okay, I was like, I wasn't like, okay, what shall we do? But it's like, okay. And then there is Enrico figuring out, like when he's doing these hands like this, he's figuring out balancing energies, balancing thought forms, my thought forms, and like, okay, and gives back a question. And as soon as he answered this question, the man understood. Oh, okay, I understood. But from the answer that the man said then, it was like, now we can talk about these three other ideas, because he understood and he said itself this idea, and then we can now expand into this story. So also I was driving like down the road here, and I was like I forgot the idea. I was like, well, it's basically took me 2 years to like only now understand how the channeling is actually the translation, interpretation, and the feeling energy transcending, or communication, whatever you call it. It took me like 2 years to like understand why at some questions they don't have answers, and to many questions they don't even want to give the answer. They have the information, but they just don't want to give the answer. It took me 2 years to understand this, and basically the idea is that this channeling is not about super science and everything. The Enrico his being, is about sharing, you would say, knowledge, sharing wisdom to make your life more happier, to make your life more joyful, playful, interesting, exciting, and also involve this into spirituality, a sense of lowering and highering light in you. I mean, lowering down the light in you, or you higher your own energies up to the light. And from that point, when you receive this and get this point, then you will have all the answers you ever need, all the questions, all the technologies, all the savings of the planet, everything. Then you will have the wisdom to even objectively think and speak about these ideas. By then, it's only a matter of your own energy, discovering, balancing, cleaning, cleansing, understanding what suits for you, understanding what's not for you, and how others says what's in a line for you, and what's out of a line for you, and till that point. So yeah, that was it. And also another thing about after these channelings, if, for example, I didn't channel for a month and my thoughts were empty, it was like, okay, I can sit and can just simply breathe. I have no thoughts. Oh, I have some thoughts, but they don't bother me at all. After the channeling, my mind is just like a supercomputer, always thinking. It's like, I don't know, the energy is accelerated or something. The mind just works non-stop, and it takes me like well, at first, after the channelings, it was like my head is dizzy, totally dizzy, and sometimes even when you go deeper into the channeling, it's so dizzy and the energies are so intense that I'm like this, and I feel like I'm on in reality. I'm like non-reality, like everything is a dream, or like walking like this. And but when the channeling is like yesterday, it's not so deep. Then the information is more like the feeling afterwards is more like I cannot stop my thoughts. It's just like the brain is so active. It's like a million activities per second. It's really difficult. And well, I was talking also with Enrico about, for example, other people. I have watched a few other channelers online, and it was like, man, some of them, to me, feel like sharing information that's already been out there. It's like nothing new. Just watch it, and it's like you find no interest in it. And some of the channelers also share this information, but you just love the way it's being expressed. Although it's maybe the same information, but you just love the character of the, you would say, personality, entity, or the own person who is channeling in mixture. And some of the channelings you just cannot watch. It's just not suit for you. You cannot watch. And I know when I channel, I know that many people don't like what I'm sharing. Don't like what I'm doing. They just don't like it. They find the information other ways, other place. Well, that's okay. But I asked Enrico, why is this? And he said that basically there is not even a look to whether that person actually channels, or whether that person actually think he's channeling, or whether he's sharing the same information or other information, or cope with his own information. There's no difference, because there will be a person who finds, oh man, this channeler is really good, I love him, and he can get some information from it. Others will find that, hey, this different channeler is also really good, I love the information. Others will find that, man, this channeling or watching this video is just completely waste of time. but they will get something out of it also. For example, maybe it be a disappointment or something. They will find their own inner energy outbalance on this situation. So basically, it's not a meaning about whether it's true or false or everything. It's basically, there's no meaning and no judgment of this at all. The only thing the judgment is whether this particular information helps you to understand, helps you to get clearer in your life, or doesn't. And that's the only judgment of everything. And also one time somebody asked to Enrico whether are fake gurus or whether they are true gurus, and how to define which is fake and which is true. Well, it's like there were spiritual persons in the room, and they were following many other like spiritual teachers, gurus or something, and they were asking how do you define, how do you know, and they were asking names and whether it's true or whether he's not true or whether he's fake or so on. And he said, wait, stop. There is no idea and no such thing as true or false. This only judgment that there is only whether this person, whether it's fake or whether it's true, does this person or this information helps you, or does it oh, I cannot see anything, man, though it's totally bad. Or whether this information doesn't help you at all. So that's the only judgment, only correlation. Wait, I'll somehow need to turn on the fog lights, which I don't have. No, I don't have. You cannot see anything. Oh, here. That's the only judgment. That's the only judgment. Whether it's true for you, whether it helps you, whether it gives you some more detailed understanding. Because also he said that basically also what you know is that there is one guru, for example, and they have thousands of followers or 100,000 of followers, no matter. But each and every of the follower hears and sees and perceives something else because of that follower's particular energy. He sees, feels, and perceives completely a different information. Because he himself is the one that decides. He himself is a completely unique energy that mixture with the information that's coming mixes into understanding for himself. So basically it's about point of view, it's about your own inner being. That's truly the I don't know, that's truly the, I don't know the word, the meaning or the reason, I don't know, it's truly the point or on everything. So, and also he said, one man asked, well, okay, so for example, mantras. He said, Enrico said yes. For example, Brahmajamajam mantra, what does it mean? Enrico said, it doesn't mean anything unless you give a meaning to it. It doesn't mean completely anything. Although they're silently in my head, there was a voice. Well, there are mantras that have sound activations and they can amplify your energy, but the way the question's been asked, the answer is it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything unless you give a meaning. And the idea was that for example, there is a person who chants mantra with an absolute meaning, and his mind is constantly working. It's no reason to do him. There's no reason to do this chanting at all. Somebody chants the mantra in love, in feelings, in joy, and says, and suddenly he feels so good, he feels so excited, he feels so loved, even more and more and more. And Enrico said, well, this is also meaning that basically is taking action, and this mantra chanting like this helps him. And there are also other persons, and there is each an individual that does it differently. So basically the idea is that not how or why it works, but how do you use it, and what do you do with yourself, inner self, how you align your inner self, how do you work with your inner self, how do you feel yourself, how you are with yourself at that moment, how you allow yourself to be at that moment. For example, if you give a reason, oh yeah, this is mantra, this is the mantra, it doesn't have any other meanings other than this that's given, so I will chant this mantra to have this particular meaning all the time. and this person is just limiting himself. So the idea is that I want to share is that there are no meanings, there are no true and fakes, there are no false, true, fake, works, false information, so on. It's just how you use it. It's just how you work with it. It's just how you understand it to be. Because also in false information, you get everything you need in order to, if you allow yourself, as Enrico also said one time, to truly know everything and to be super enlightened, you don't need anything. You can do this by just looking at the floor, or looking at the wall, or looking at nowhere. But if you don't allow yourself, you will not achieve or receive anything. You will just like you will be the same person. So the idea was that it's only how you allow yourself, And okay, well, just one more sentence. And when I'm hearing this from other persons, and when I'm using this in my own personality, when I have heard this also before, even before I channeled, to do everything is only limited by mind or something. Just free your mind or something. I was like, how do you free your mind? It's like, okay, I'm freeing my mind, nothing happens. But the idea is that you don't actually free your mind, you free yourself, and also the mind will be freed. It's like allow. And when the mind is active, it's like in every cell, every particle of yourself, the cells are locked. It's like they don't receive energy, they are locked because you don't allow yourself to be. But when you allow yourself to be, when you allow to be truly open and be yourself, the cells start to open up and when they are open, you receive more and more energy, more and more information, more and more understanding. So it's basically freeing yourself from the energies that do not help you, do not support you, do not fit you, are not in line with you, whatever you may call it. But the idea is that not free your mind, free yourself. That would be more in simple words how to describe this. So, okay, so 70 minutes, 43 seconds have passed, so I'll be stopping this video at 70:50.